for those that always compare Yasuo to Virgil, Yasuo is a better Virgil. We are going to make a tier list for 2XKO. This is a definitive tier list. Everyone who has been doing tier lists are absolutely stupid. Why? Because they're just complaining about characters when they're all using Yasuo Echo. So, for the first 2 spots, Yasuo Echo, if you argue this, I swear to God, if you argue that Echo and Yasuo are the best characters in the history of video games, you're trolling and I hate you. People said, oh, Jinx is actually the best character. And look at where she is now. She was never anywhere remotely close to the best character. It's that easy to explain why Yasuo Echo are the best, right? Best buttons, best specials, best zoning, best everything, right? They can go on literally any team, including a team with themselves. They can make comebacks, 1v2 you, even the best assists while they're dead. There is nothing that these two do not excel at compared to every other character in the game. Now, the 2 characters that are opposite of that are Braum and Blitzcrank. If you don't think that these 2 are the worst characters in the game, again, you're talking out of your face. It is what it is. Who cares? The second part, right, people mention many characters, but I think the first character that goes there, who I think is actually top 3, is Illaoi. She enables every single character in the game. She has some of the best assists in the game, range in the game, some of the best damage in the game, and her okie doke in the corner is some of the dumbest gameplay in all of gameplay. Not only because she chips you out, but because you can't see anything. This game already has a problem with people not being able to see what's happening on the screen. And Illaoi makes that so much worse. Especially if it's Illaoi and Echo. I actually have no idea how to block them too. You just guess. She also is anti-zoning. And to a certain degree, she can actually zone herself. So that, by default, makes her top 3. Honestly, the next 2 characters, right, which would be right underneath them, I don't think they're B. It's probably just A-, right? Or maybe that's A, and this is A+, right? Because I don't actually think the characters are that far away from each other in terms of placement, in terms of, like, what they can do. Last patch, Ahri was down here at C for can't do combos, right? Now she's A for she can do combos. She has pretty good pressure. She has pretty good block strings. Yeah, she works. She's complete. Actually can do combos. Thank you so much. Round of applause for Bogu. But yeah, I don't think that she suffers from really anything besides for, like, a lot of times bad Oki. You know, that's really it. Not getting combos off of a grab. Now, I would put her in A+ if she had good assists. I still think Ahri does not have really good assists in this game. You can't really toss out her assists in neutral, right? Besides maybe running it down and see if it hits. But even if you do a block string and then you tag into her while she's in the air, you could actually potentially lose the game, right? Even if you could dash and do like a double overhead, if you don't do it right, you will actually lose the game. Second person in A goes to Teemo. Teemo is an actual zoner that works, which is insane. I know it's insane to think about. He is an actual zoner that works. His rock is probably one of the best moves in the game. But, you know, obviously, nothing is as good as Time Winder. He can make it work. His mushroom combos are cool. He does pretty good damage. He does have an instant overhead. Except it doesn't work on Echo. Ha ha ha. Echo actually has a smaller hurt box than Teemo. Who would have guessed it? Not me. But, you know, the devs did. The devs guessed that Echo would actually have a smaller hurt box than Teemo. His main issue is that you have to be a scientist to play him, and you have to be aware of every single situation. He can't just do his combo. You have to be ready to do a different version of a combo depending on every single situation. And sometimes his basic air combo drops if you don't do it correctly, which is also a problem. That's the only thing really stopping him from being A+. He really can just accidentally lose. He's complete for what he does, right? you could base it off of, oh, well, you know what? Jinx is S tier because she has super tag. Teemo's S tier because he has super tag. No, that's not a problem with Teemo. That's not a Teemo strength. What if you have no bar? You have to actually play Teemo. Wow. Oh, you lost? Wow, you suck. Right? Not to mention, he is completely removed from the game by Yasuo. So, most people are playing Yasuo. If you see a Teemo, you pick Yasuo, the game's over. The next characters, this one's hard because I feel like all three of them are kind of in the same spot. But to be fair, because again, there's no bad characters outside of Braum and Blitz, but they're not even bad, so they're just B for quote-unquote bad. First character is Warwick. I've never seen a character easier in my life. I've never seen a character scrubbier in my life. He makes Wolverine look fair. Actually, you know what? You could probably just put SS. It's just that good. Like, because I don't think there's anything wrong with a S tier character, but I think they've ruined the game so much that they're actually, like, SS means they really do actually need to be nerfed. I do think, like, some things need to be adjusted with Illaoi, but that's about it, right? Like, I just think Illaoi is enabling a little too much, and that's really her only problem. Warwick doesn't need harder combos. The only way you drop combos with Warwick is if you're trying to do an uppercut loop. There are multiple characters in the game that allow Warwick to do uppercut loops instantly. If you're not playing those characters, right, like Echo and other characters, or Blitzcrank or something, that's it. You can do the combos. You just need to pick the characters to do it, right? I was trying to do the combo with Warwick Jinx, and even though I think Jinx helps Warwick a lot, it's hard. If I was going to play an optimal Warwick, I would pick, you know, a few other characters, right? Illaoi, Echo, Yasuo, yeah, Blitz, if you're about that life. When he gets started, it is scrubby. The problem is that you don't know when to swing because he can always just do the overhead. And then on top of that, his damage is pretty good, his range is pretty good, and he's anti-zoning. He beats Teemo pretty bad. And honestly, he probably makes Jinx look like she's not even in the character. Warwick is in fact that good. He could be better, I just don't know. I haven't seen like the perfect setups. But he does have an instant overhead. He does have a command grab. He does have an overhead. He does have multiple plus on block specials. And it always seems like it's his turn. He might actually be A tier, right? But I just haven't seen it yet. So take this, you know, with an asterisk. You know, he actually could be better. The next character, Darius, right? I did say that Warwick is a better Darius, and I still feel that way. But I guess until we see it, you know, I'll just be safe and put him with Darius. Darius is, you know, ultimate footsies. He's efficient at what he does. I don't think there's anything really bad about Darius. I know a lot of people like to downplay Darius, which is very weird. But there is nothing bad about Darius if it's a 1v1 situation. He's just good. Vi and Jinx. I'm gonna be real. I already said it about Vi. She shouldn't be in the game. I still agree that Vi shouldn't be in the game. She is so boring. She's so ugly to look at. She is one of the worst spectating characters of all time. She's brain dead easy, has brain dead mix-ups. Maybe it's just that the Vi players suck. Like, I just feel like playing her, people close their eyes. Because I do feel like she gets in. She's the easiest character in the game to get in, right? Like, along with Warwick, right? Warwick and Vi are, in fact, that easy. I was actually thinking B+. But now that I really think about it, right, with how scrubby her game plan is with her super, her invincible super, and her okie doke anti-airs and all that stuff, you know what? Like, I'll be generous. I'll put her A-, right? Like, this is probably ordered, right? I think Vi is like arguably worse than Warwick because Warwick does what Vi does easier, you know? Like, you kind of do sometimes need a brain, question mark. I don't know. I just think this whole tier list is, I mean, this whole A- tier is just 3 idiots. And now, the last character. This one's really sad, only because everyone had her. This is what everyone thought, which made no sense. They thought Jinx was here. Now, she's actually not there. Why? Because she was never supposed to be there. So you delete this row, and you actually add another row. She was never that good, and she's worse. Congratulations. Her 1v2 is she's probably the worst character in the game. You know what's funny about B? Is Braum and Blitzcrank. There you go. But yeah, honestly, this was this is very simple because I do honestly believe that, like, there's only a couple problems right now, but they're glaring problems, and this is why I talk the way I talk about the game and developers, because when you think about it, right, these characters are clearly worse, these characters are clearly better. So when you have something that glaring, when you have characters just that good, and mind you, it's like what I said before, right? I wouldn't know how good Echo is if you nerfed Timewinder, but they didn't. So if Yasuo and Echo were like over here, you know, like, then yeah, the game would be cool. You'll even see more Blitz. You'll see more Braum, right? If Echo was down here, you'll see more Jinx. You'll see more Dariuses. Because, like, they're up there, and then Illaoi is just enabling literally every character. For those that always compare Yasuo to Virgil, Yasuo is a better Virgil. And he's in a game with only 2 characters, with not enough movement. So yeah, this is the definitive 2x KO tier list. Any other tier list that you've seen is probably wrong.